levels of consciousness. What makes up human beings? Human cells. So the cells are a level below human beings because it takes human cells to make up human beings. What makes up human cells? Atoms. A community of atoms makes up human cells. A community of human cells makes up a human being.
DNA.
Well, cells. We're talking about the cells. DNA is within the cells, but we're talking about the cells.
Okay.
The cells are living creatures within the human body. They are living, absolutely living. They live, they die, they grow, they multiply.
Right.
They're living.
You put them in a mixture of stuff.
They're living creatures within the human body.
Okay.
Humans, among plants and other animals and everything else that makes up what we are here, all make up the earth. Right? Now, there are trillions of cells within a human body. There are however many atoms, many multiples of atoms in one human cell. There are 7 billion human beings, everything else that makes up the Earth. The Earth is not the only planet in the Milky Way galaxy. There's also Mars, there's Jupiter, there's our sun, there are all of the other stars and planets inside the Milky Way galaxy. All of those stars and planets make up the Milky Way galaxy. But the Milky Way galaxy is not the only galaxy. There's also the Andromeda galaxy, and all the other
millions of galaxies.
hundreds of billions
right.
of galaxies.
So yeah.
All of those hundreds of billions of galaxies make up our universe. So look at each of these levels as the same structure. Multiples of atoms make up a human cell. Trillions of human cells make up a human being. 7 billion human beings make up the Earth. The Earth and all other stars and planets in our neighborhood make up the Milky Way galaxy. All of the galaxies make up the universe. So now, for us to be able to relate to this, we are the human beings. The level below us is human cells. If we look at that as the same structure on all levels, all of the stars and planets, and we'll look at Earth specifically, Earth is made up of human beings and plants and trees and all the other animals. If you think of those creatures as cells, the same structure, then we look at the Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way galaxy is made up of Earth and Mars and Jupiter and the Sun and the star Betelgeuse and all other stars and Polaris and, you know, everything, all Orion's belt. Think of those as cells to the Milky Way galaxy. Now think of the Milky Way galaxy and the Andromeda galaxy and all of the other hundreds of billions of galaxies that make up the universe. Think of those galaxies as cells to the universe. So it's all the same structure. There's just different levels. Now, the concept is all of those levels are levels of consciousness. The atoms work in harmony with each other to create a human cell. Human cells work together to create a human body. Humans work together to create the earth. Each level is consciousness, but they're all different levels of consciousness. The human cells are aware of each other. They're aware of themselves and they're aware of each other. They communicate with each other, so they know that they're there. But they don't have the intelligence to become self-aware, to become conscious, because they're on a lower level of consciousness. We as human beings, the highest form of intelligence on planet Earth, all are able to work with each other and, do all sorts of things, but we are at a higher level of consciousness than the human cells. We stop there. But that's not where it ends. The Earth is on a higher level of consciousness than human beings. Mars and Jupiter and Saturn and Betelgeuse, the stars in Orion's belt, they are at a higher level of consciousness than human beings.
Why?
Because it's human beings that make that up. We are the cells to Earth.
Okay. I do that.
We are how the Earth is alive.
Created.
Right.
Supposedly, per scientists, every star, supernovas, not everyone's supernovas, there's different ways of the stars to die out. But the ones that do supernova supposedly spread the gases and material.
Yeah, they do, and that's how new stars are formed.
And that's how it starts out. So
there's a
everything
cycle.
is made of the same stuff.
It's all the same cycles. It's all the same structure. Same thing with human cells. Human cells die, they grow, they reproduce. When a human cell dies, it gives room for another human cell to grow.
Yeah.
When a star dies, it gives room for other stars to grow. It's all the same structure, and we learn this because of quantum physics and being able to look at the microscopic levels of how we're created, what makes us up. But we stop at human beings. We look down below us, but we never look above. So the Milky Way galaxy and the Andromeda galaxy and all the other galaxies have a higher level of consciousness than the stars and planets within those galaxies.
I still don't understand the definition of consciousness.
Being aware of, well, you're conscious when you're aware of the consciousness. The consciousness is the divine energy. Consciousness is God.
Okay.
God created everything within creation.
Agreed.
Therefore, everything in creation is consciousness.
Well, it's for sure made of the same stuff.
The same stuff. We're all one. Right.
Universe.
Right.
It's all put together.
But if that stuff has consciousness in God, then the stuff spread out also has consciousness when it's...
Again, I'm stuck on your definition of consciousness. What does that mean? You're saying you understand it's not being self-aware. It's not them knowing mortality. That's not them thinking, how do I get here? What is consciousness to you?
Great question. To me, I've been trying to explain it the whole time, and I'm struggling with trying to explain it. I understand that. Tyler, do you have any input on this?
I was thinking about it, but not yet.
Consciousness is what everything is. Everything is God. It is all created from the divine energy. It is all created from God. I'm struggling with
Okay, I agree with that at that point. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that inanimate objects and things have a conscience.
You're getting confused on the definition.
am.
You're getting confused on the definition, because consciousness doesn't mean that it is aware of that consciousness.
That's what I was for with the definition breakdown.
Basically that, well, one thing that I guess you would have to understand is that consciousness is different than being conscious.
Oh, now that part.
Yes.
That is a good point.
Yes. Okay.
I
So everything.
Because he's saying that if it all started from God, God is a lot of things, but because it's everything, but God is, in one aspect, which is what we're talking about right now, consciousness. One and the same. God is, it's consciousness. It's
because God was conscious.
exactly.
Everything created has
Exactly.
to have part of that.
Exactly.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that everything that has consciousness is conscious of that.
Well, that kind of makes sense.
But you are also, it also sounds like you're trying to make the point that anything that is above human consciousness is able to be conscious.
That is what I'm saying. Yes.
Okay, I'm struggling with that.
I did too at first.
Okay.
Because I heard this is a jnani yoga, Jnana, yeah. Jnani yoga, which is the discovery of knowledge. That's what it's all about. Very much in line, it's about discovery of self, which, for those of you that read The Journey of the Angels by Geoffrey Hoppe, that's what the Tobias materials are about, is discovery of self and understanding self. That is consciousness. Self. Becoming aware of self and understanding self is becoming conscious of consciousness.
Okay, but are you saying that what you just said applies to other things
I'm saying
along with humans?
I'm saying applies to everything, because everything, we are all one. We all came from the same stuff.
People, humans.
Everything. All of creation. It all came from the same place. It all came from the same stuff. It's
Same stuff being recycled to make new stuff.
it's all energy.
Yes.
And in our physical universe, it is that energy slowed down significantly. But it's all energy. It's all the same stuff. It all came from the same place.